I'd like to introduce a friend, certainly somebody I look up to, somebody I really, when I think about Charlie Smith, I think about the fabric of synergists. Somebody that you really can't imagine, or you wouldn't want to imagine a synergist without Charlie. So please join me in welcoming Charlie up to the stage.
All right, so looking around at some of the body language, I can tell it's the end of the day. Yes, I am the speed bump between you and dinner and socialization. Can you do it? All right, stay engaged. Just one last presentation here. All right, so the 4 dimensions of custom programming. Martha helped me with this title very, very kindly. So a little bit about me, Charlie Smith. I currently live in Maricopa, Arizona. My family recently relocated there in order to be closer together and support each other. I'm very excited about that. And now I know what 115 degrees feels like. Yeah, but it's a dry heat. Yes, I always hear this one. Doesn't make a difference. Ovens are dry too. So a little bit more, I'm totally in love with my pooch, Mindy. She is 15 years old now, and we're going through the final phases of life, and she has been such a wonderful addition to our family. We adopted her. She was in the kennel for 5 years, and we rescued her, and I'm very happy about that. And lastly, I'm a volunteer for the Mankind Project, and this is an organization focused on men's emotional maturity, support, and leadership skills. And interestingly, the part of the theme that we're hearing today about transformation, let me tell you, watching men go through this weekend truly demonstrates what transformation's all about. Each man goes through his own personal hero's journey. If you're interested, ask me more about it. So, App Dev. The App Dev team is a small team with a lot of skills. You might say that I've got a team of my own superheroes at my disposal. I've got 3 developers, 1 tester, which I lead, and across data migrations, custom programs, integrations, and special projects, this small team manages all those. Today I'm going to be focusing on custom programs and why folks like you ask us to assist you with customizations. At the end I have 3 desktop plugin videos to show you. And I'm curious, by a show of hands, how many customers here today are using customizations, custom programs? Okay, yep. You've already heard some folks speak to them, and I see some other hands going up as well. So very happy about that. These folks, during networking time, if you're curious about customizations and what they can do for you, reach out and have those conversations. So, we're all busy with the details of the work we need to do, and I know that time is hard to come by. However, spending some time up front to design a customization can save a lot of time for your team members and make the investment well worth it. Here are 3 key areas our customers have chosen to engage us in the custom programming area. Automating the smallest routines through customizations within the system can help you save time and avoid mistakes. When business processes are clearly defined, customizations can increase efficiency and improve organization. Data validation through customizations helps increase confidence in the data and frees up the folks who would normally do it manually for other important tasks. So if you're interested in saving time and money in the long run, come spend some time with me up front, and the App Dev team can help you get there. It's no secret that businesses run into issues with existing systems. When the shop floor has process issues, they need help. Remote teams need access to the latest information to make the best decisions. These are all opportunities for the business to discover better ways to operate. Here are some of the key problems we solve with our solutions. Complex business processes may require mission-critical solutions. Our customers have a wide variety of problems to solve. Creating a product that meets everyone's needs out of the box is a huge challenge, and the app dev team is part of creating the solutions to address many of our customers' problems. Repeating the same manual process over and over can lead to boredom and frustration. The team members doing the work of your business have many responsibilities, and mistakes can happen unintentionally. Automating as much of the process as possible allows for more confidence in the end result. So how do team members know they are actually accessing the right information? Everyone requires access to the latest correct data without the worry of making mistakes. And you should be confident that the data being used is accurate and up to date and where the users need it to be. If you're struggling with the business process, let's analyze it together and determine what can be done with customizations to address the issue. We close the gap with customized solutions. So your business might require more specific capabilities than our out-of-the-box solution provides. Synergist Adept custom programs are able to address missing pieces of your business processes by closing that functionality gap. Your business needs might have changed since the time when the solution was originally implemented due to mergers and acquisitions, any number of business things that occur. Custom data migrations are able to merge data from acquired or inherited data sources into the Adept database. This allows all your intellectual property to be controlled by a single solution, namely Adept. Your business might be growing and expanding. Newer business solutions require integration. We'll be talking more about that tomorrow. Your business needs to adapt to those changes, and so integration allows separate business systems to communicate and relay data efficiently and confidently. The 4 dimensions of engagement. So, new Adept implementation. Many of you may have heard RFP, RFQ, a request for a proposal, request for a quote. These folks have extensive lists of requirements, and they're clear up front that they need them. And so it's up to us through that process to identify potential customizations where the out-of-the-box solution doesn't necessarily meet those needs directly. Additional requirements. In some cases, maybe the solution, Adept, has fulfilled requirements up to a point, and then new business requirements demand customizations to help meet the additional needs and requirements. Adapting to changes through process review and identifying additional requirements helps design the custom solution your business requires. Perhaps new business standards come about, regulations, right? These standards for operation are a reality as business grows. Sometimes your customization needs to be modified or enhanced to meet changes in the business or marketplace. These business decisions, which impact operations, often require different processes or more efficiency, and modifying your customization to adapt to these changes just might be the answer. And then enhance an existing CP. So Adept has a standard set of plugins, which in some cases can be modified with additional features to meet custom requirements. Perhaps your business utilizes one of these standard plugins, and you'd like to realize how it could address even more, perhaps only if it did just a little something different. And we can help by modifying, redesigning, and modifying that existing plugin to your specific needs. So next we're going to talk about some real-life examples. The first one is the signature approval. So Raf in the back uses the signature approval. Anybody else using signature approval customization? Okay, I didn't think there was anybody else here. So the signature approval is all about who did what when. So there are specialized database fields. Usually folks put them on their data card. And as the document moves through the workflow, it records who did what when for each step of the way. Let's see how this works. So here's the Adept client. We're going to bring up the configuration dialog for this plugin. And configuration allows any workflow in the Adept system to be utilized. When enabled, the steps of the workflow can be set up to record signatures, static signatures, and the approval status. This is configuring each step of the way, selecting which signatures will be used. Once that's configured, the users interface with the application by using Adept's standard workflow as usual. This is an approval. The data is recorded on the data card. The user enters their password in order to approve. Here's the data card, and there's the first signature recorded, both static and dynamic. And next, this is showing how the data can actually be pushed into the document itself with Update Document feature. So not only are you keeping the database with the record, you're updating that in the document itself. And then when a rejection happens, or if the document gets checked out during the workflow process, after being approved, this is the checkout process. So it shows that the data for the previous approval gets cleared. The document's going to need to go back through the process again once it's been uncontrolled and changed. Showing that the next step in the process did add the next signature. And I think that's it. Okay, so the next plugin. Anybody curious about this? Okay, interesting, good, right? That's always the question, isn't it? Sometimes that happens over time. It sure does. Yeah.
Would Todd make that decision?
Yes, of course he would. Certainly not me. All right, so the assign workflow. This one is a plugin, very simple plugin. How many folks, so for instance, each library in Adept has a default workflow, okay? And each time documents get checked in to that library, it's automatically assigned the workflow that's the default for the library. How many folks, by show of hands, check in their document and then automatically reroute it to a different workflow? Okay, great, case in point. So this is, this addresses that very issue. The Assign Workflow plugin allows the user to select the workflow for the document at check-in. The configuration here utilizes the inherited rights tree for the Adept vaults and libraries to allow more efficient configuration of the plugin. Only the checked libraries can be configured. All the workflows in the entire database are listed on the right-hand side, and you can pick and choose which workflows are available to the users when they check in, per library. So if in that list 4 workflows are chosen and configured for a particular library, when the check-in occurs, you get prompted, Those 4 workflows are listed there. The drop down comes down. The user selects which one it goes into and goes ahead and clicks OK. And the reroute has happened automatically. And then it's recorded that a reroute actually happened. It happened behind the scenes, okay, within the workflow. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No? All right, that's okay.
Is that a permanent reroute?
It does not permanently assign that document a document workflow. The next time it gets checked, when it goes through that workflow, the next time it gets checked out, on check-in, same process will happen, and you'll be able to choose which workflow. Okay, so this one. This is another quick question? What, who, what, when?
Hi. So these plugins, can they be installed on the server and applied to all clients, or you have to install it for each client?
They are plugins which get installed for the desktop client on each client's workstation. Yeah. And the future is beautiful with the web. There's lots of possibilities coming. Keep that in mind. All right, so the multi-version yes, go ahead.
Kind of tagging off that, is that something you could automate with Adept Update?
Say more specifically.
So, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Could you,
Yes,
Good.
yes. Yeah, all custom plugins that are MSIs can be added to Adept Update and get updated as long as they're installed using Adept Update, of course. That's the rule, right? Cool. All right. Yes, go ahead, Bill.
May not be the right time, but with your custom program, when 2019 is released, possibly Friday, does that mean that the custom programs have already been reviewed for those companies that have had that?
That's a really great question, Bill. So 2019 is a little different as we have changed it, okay? Because we're still in the 11.0 family. The database remains the same, and the compatibility remains the same. So 2019, as long as your software has been updated to be compatible with the 2018 family, you're good to go. Make sense? Good. Okay, good. So multi-version handler. So this is the familial title. It hasn't been approved by marketing yet, so hold your breath. I don't know what it's going to look like when it actually comes out. This is actually a plugin Mark Mefford has spoken about. Bill has a version of this, as well as another customer. And along the way, we have redesigned it and made additional features, and today it's the multi-version handler. So the multi-version handler allows separate sets of documents with or without Adept versions themselves to be combined and reordered. In some cases, there could be duplicates across the system, which are actually different versions of the same document. Select the documents in Adept and initiate the command. It's already going here. The user can choose to keep the version sets together or expand with a little checkbox that says Show All Versions and allow the reordering to extend into those version sets. So if you expand that, all the sets, all the versions for all these sets are available for you to reorder as you see fit. There's a button to launch the selected document into the viewer if desired. If you want to check the title block to see which version it is, you can do that quickly. As the versions are checked into the vault one at a time, this dialog appears, letting the user know that work is being done in the background. As you can imagine, it's pretty intensive because what we're doing is the process of check in, copy the next document into the work area, acquire ownership, check in, make the next version. And so that's all happening in the background here. So in this sample, 3 different documents with a total of 6 versions have all been stacked into Adept as one, well, not quite yet because it does take some time, as one complete version set. So that same document will have 1 current and 5 past versions. This has been a really fun sort of a repair tool or adoption tool for changes in documents. And what I find really interesting, it's already been brought up, the supersede. I'm looking forward to us retooling this potentially to include the ability to allow the supersession of documents from perhaps drawing to PDF, back to drawing again, maybe to TIFF, back to drawing again. So this is a very exciting thing because sometimes you don't have access to that native file, but you do have the PDF, DWF output. And it'd be nice to be able to stack that in your version set exactly where it belongs. So some exciting things to look forward to. Yes? Go ahead, Nick.
That was my question. Are you able to version stack TIFFs to PDFs? Because we got so many clients that start off with TIFFs and evolve to DWGs.
You know, so that's going to depend on the core product to support that with the supersede feature that's coming. Go ahead.
So Charlie, I have one question about is, so the multiple version, can you saying, okay, they have the same document number, but they have the different format, the file extensions are different. So can we use these two to handle the situation?
Sounds like sort of a similar question, not quite yet. The core product has to be able to support moving from one document extension to another within the same set. And since the core product doesn't currently support that, this customization doesn't address it. It will, and I believe it will in the future.
And the follow-up question is, you know, the one you did a demo only process one document at a time. Can you process multiple documents at the same time? You know, if we set up the order, is that possible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Charlie, do the file names have to be the same?
So, no. In Adept, you may have my file name underscore version 1, my file name underscore version 7, my file name Patrazibi Boohoo, or whatever Todd says. And so part of the configuration dialog, when the user selects all those documents and then checks them in, that's when you decide what is my file name going to be. Okay? Go ahead.
Charlie, I think I asked you this question before.
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, this is Rick Souter. I asked you this question before, I think, when we were talking before, but I just want to ask you now because there's a bigger audience listening, including Todd and the other guys. I know you said it required the core functionality within Adept to be able to support multiple extensions, multiple different file formats within a stack.
Right.
4-letter question. When?
Todd?
Yeah, so I have a question about that too, Charlie. When are you going to let Adept support that?
Oh, is it up to me? Very next release then.
Nice. So here's the good news. We are going to support that capability. I think we call that, you call that supersede, Joe? Is that, yeah.
Yep.
So the latest will be the next major version. And we'll take a look at getting it sooner. The code has been in a state for us to qualify for a while. So it's a capability we've had waiting to be qualified. That's all I'm willing to commit to at this point. But thanks for asking. Yeah. Steve just said thank you. Yeah. QA wants to make sure that one really works, right?
Boy.
We don't want any problems for you out there in the
Just
field.
a quick technical question that maybe I should already know. So you've got 3 record versions that may have multiple versions of their own with not only the file but the data card. All those data card versions are retained.
Absolutely. Each document has its own record in Adept. Those are matched up and linked and placed into the system in order that you choose. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah.
Hi, Brant Bolden, Preferred Utilities. So these are essentially plugins, if I'm understanding.
That's correct.
Where can I find out about all the non-out-of-the-box plugins that you guys have?
Right now, these 3 are the ones. We do also have a multitude of plugins which are more specific towards our customers' needs. These are the three that we found to be more broadly applicable for folks, and that we decided to begin the process of standardizing so that we can see some revenue from them. And if you're interested, talk to your account manager, set up a meeting with me. I'll be happy to talk to you about it.
Thanks.
You bet. Yes. You again?
Me again, because I want this plugin too. When you rename the version stacking, does it rename all the previous versions too, or only the latest version?
All of them. All of them are the same file name. Now, obviously with Supersede, we're going to have to adapt and adjust. The file name will be the same, the extension will be able to be different. And I don't know, maybe Joe's got some other magic up his sleeve.
Yeah, Joe.
Who else? Yes, Teresa.
What if, like in your stacking, in the versions, you have an unlinked record, and you want to link a new file to that? Can you do that while restacking?
In this case, the document would need to be linked to the record before you go through this process.
But you can't do that if it's in the versions already.
True enough. Great test case. I think I'll take it back to the lab and see what happens. Let's talk more about that. Good question. Really good question. Okay, Don, what's up?
I'm sorry, I stepped out for just a few minutes. You might have answered this question already, but are you able to use this to reorder your versions?
I already answered that question.
Okay.
And yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yep. Okay, super, really cool. Lots of great opportunities. So if you're wanting to increase your automation to avoid mistakes or to streamline your processes to be more reliable and save time, come on, let's have a chat. Let's talk about it. Some of the customers we've worked with in the past are here today. And as you're networking, feel free to talk amongst yourselves about the solutions we've provided as well. Our end goal is to help your business be successful through customizations. The out-of-the-box solution can't always do everything you need. And so we're here to help close the gap and build processes for your success. If you have any ideas about processes your company struggles with, let's talk about the possibility of addressing those through customizations. And so make sure that we connect and talk about that while here at the conference, as this is the perfect time for us to begin that process. I look forward to meeting those of you I haven't yet. I tend to work the room, and I see some faces I haven't said hello to yet. And so let's have some of those conversations maybe tonight over dinner. Yes? Sure, go ahead.
Bernardo Ivanek.
Hi, Bernardo.
So we were discussing or demoing the static signature.
Yes.
We use Audit Trail, to identify who did what, when, where. So how is that enhancing the Audit Trail, I guess is my question. Or could you please give me an example, perhaps, of this is a better way of, keeping track of things as opposed to using the Audit Trail tab?
Sure. So some folks may want to ensure that the title blocks of their drawings are also updated with the signature, static signature, and date. And so this plugin allows the reverse extraction, the update document, to push those values into the title block as well, so your title block and the data card in Adept retain the information, and the users can go to it and see it right away. It's just a really different configuration of an audit trail. You bet.
There are also some standards that require non-repudiation of user identity, right? So 21 CFR 11, and there are some others. So this kind of thing where the user has to stop, and it's essentially a second factor, right? So it's really sort of a two-factor process. They logged into the software the first time, and now when they're approving, they have to revalidate their identity again. Right. That helps customers who are 21 CFR regulated to validate.
Yep.
I just have a real quick one. Does the user have to sign in with a password for the signature to work?
Yes. Yes. In this current configuration, yes. And as I said before, we are more than happy to talk to you about your particular needs. And so if a small modification to one of these plugins would help make it applicable to you, be happy to talk about it.
My question's really quick. Can you get custom programming for any of the web clients? Or is this only desktop?
Right now, it's only desktop. And the future is that we will be moving into a world where customizations in our web clients will be possible. They're already possible at a certain level of data access and exchange through the web API. Soon, we'll have customization of the GUI, data access, and other data access layers. So, yeah.
When are you going to let that happen?
Yesterday. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much.